In this video, we will discuss extracting a subset of information from the results of Generate Sample analysis. In this example, we have run Select Data Source to retrieve source file control. We have performed Generate Sample analysis for source control. See videos Retrieve Source Basics and Sample Analysis for review. Here we select Extract Selected Sample. On the entry screen, we select Worksheet SMPLMTRX Control as the sample matrix. All 20 samples are to be processed. Therefore, we select the range option. Sample ID begin is SC1 and sample ID end is SC9. This is the best option for selecting a set of continuous samples. We are interested in the units, for each sample, that have a ranking of 1 to 10, but we want no more than 15 units in each list. As the help text indicates, below right, more than 15 units may be selected for a given sample because Ranger checks the entire rank list before checking the unit extract limit of 15. Ranger first takes the units in rank number 1, then rank number 2, then rank number 3 and so on until the limit is reached. Generate cluster result was selected. A cluster list will be generated for each sample. Looking at Worksheet WS, we see that 3 worksheets have been added. Worksheet cluster data is also shown below. A list was established for every sample, 20 lists in total. The headers in lines 1 and 2 are informative. The line 1 entry tells you the range of sample, range of ranks and the limit that were specified. The line 2 entry tells you the sample. In column A, S1 tells you the data is for sample 1. Column B is S2. And so on. Note that the lists for S1 and S2 have 15 entries. S3 has more than 15 entries. S18 has fewer than 15 entries. Worksheet SMPL Extra Control takes the cluster data unit lists and presents the extracted information about each sample with more detail. There is a column in SMPL Extra Control for each of the clusters in cluster data. In this example, we choose to process a limited set of samples rather than a continuous list. The subgroup option is selected. 6 specific samples are selected for processing. The other options are identical to those in the previous example. Information from the second run of Extract Selected Sample records results in worksheets clustereds, cluster data, and SMPL Extra Control. Information from the previous run is retained. In SMPL Extra Control, 6 columns were added to the right of the columns from the previous run. Similarly, 6 lists were added to cluster data, to the right of the previous lists. Note that the header titles differ from those of the previous run. Where the previous lists began with RNG, the new lists begin with GRP. A subsequent video discusses how these lists of units can serve as input to another sample-related process. These lists may also serve as search criteria for information sources outside of Ranger. For example, development of Ranger occurred in an environment focused on gene research. A list of genes may be submitted to an external source to determine the probability of that list being associated with a biological function. This concludes our discussion of Extract Selected Sample.